right, everybody. Well, good morning and welcome in as we get rocking and rolling on another episode of Good Morning. Good morning, Huntsville. It's one of those kind of, I don't know, like a weird. You ever have those weird mornings, Jason?
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing. It's just kind of one of those just kind of weird.
It's cold.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's I gave a pint of blood yesterday. Maybe my body is trying to refill with the blood. You know.
Maybe this cold weather and that cold and not having as much blood as awaken you.
You're cold-blooded. No. Well, welcome in, everybody, as we get rocking and roll. Episode 649. Billy's excited. Tomorrow he gets a cool number. He wants to have a balloon drop for 650 tomorrow. So I don't know about all that, but we'll do something special.
He always gets the good numbers.
Well, no, he was complaining, saying that he never gets them.
Well, who gets them? Because I don't.
Yeah, it usually falls like on a Tuesday or some weird day, and I think it hasn't worked out for Billy, but this time it has. So we'll see. But 649 is a great number.
It is a good number,
and we are here today. So we want to welcome everybody in. A big thank you to Elliot Herzig from Elliot's Jewelers. He's online at elliotsjewelers.com, and of course here on our Thankful Thursday, Pastor Jason Bay, First Baptist Church, Huntsville. We are so thankful to be here and pop on your screen here every Thursday morning. Really every morning, but especially on a Thursday morning. Jason, how have you been, man? It's been we're winding down the year, if you can believe it. I cannot believe that we are already getting close to 2026.
I know it has gone by so fast. It's been good. We've been busy doing this and that. Of course, the end of the year and with Christmas coming up has been exceptionally busy. We're just trying to keep everything going. And my daughter, I mentioned it on Sunday, but we had a little episode with her foot. She was running through a room, and one of her sisters dropped a toothpick in the carpet, and somehow she ended up wedging that toothpick in between her front two toes. So we spent about 2 weeks dealing with that, and then finally she had to have surgery on it to remove the toothpick, and the doctor and we also thought that it was like a splinter of the toothpick had gotten in there, but in reality it was literally a toothpick probably about 2.5 inches long, stuck in her little foot. She's only 5, but yeah, it was a ordeal just trying to go through that, because we took her to the doctor several times, and the doctor looked at us, it's going to be okay, just watch it, just make sure it doesn't get infected. Well, sure enough, it got infected. Then we took her back a second time, and he looked at it again, and they said, well, let's put her on some antibiotics and see if it doesn't clear up. I still think it's nothing big in there. And they did an x-ray, but of course you can't see wood on an x-ray. Then we went back a third time, and that's when he sent us to a podiatrist, and the podiatrist took one look at it and said, no, it's got to come out, whatever's in there. And so that's when they did surgery on it. But last night we took the bandage off after he had done the surgery. We took the bandage off, and it looks really, really good. You can just barely see the little incision that he made. He sewed it up, but he left part of it open so that it heal. And it's already healed tremendously well, so I'm thankful for that. But on top of that, then my other daughter, she's Friday. Tomorrow she's having surgery on her adenoids. So it's been a busy few weeks, and we've been trying to keep everything going. We got Christmas parties all lined up for different Sunday school classes, and in fact, I got one of those tomorrow night, and have a funeral on Monday. And had a funeral last week, so it's been busy.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. I'm so thankful that Magdalene is okay, and that's got to be scary for a little 5-year-old girl. And that thing, my goodness, as you said, that was like the whole toothpick.
I know it.
Was she feeling that when she was walking on it?
Yeah, she was. But it was amazing how tough she was, because the doctor kept saying, well, it's probably not that big. It'll probably take it'll come out eventually, or it'll be okay. Don't worry about it. And so she was just pretty much going around, trying to go around like her normal self. But, you could tell it hurt her, but she was still riding her bike and going to gym class and all of that. But it was, I can't imagine having that She does have a high pain tolerance. We found that out.
Well, I'm glad she's okay. You know,
Yeah.
I know it's especially as a dad, and that's your youngest.
Yeah,
you know, so
yeah.
That's your little one right there.
Yeah, they actually they had to put her under general anesthesia to do the surgery and all that. Of course, she had never been under anesthesia or anything, and being that small, you always worry about your child going, that never has had any anesthesia before, something going wrong, But praise the Lord, everything went perfectly fine, and we got that behind us, and now we got my older daughter going to get her tonsils taken out tomorrow, so her adenoids.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Which one, Abigail?
No, Lily.
Oh, is Lily
She's not the oldest, but she's the
right.
next
Okay.
oldest. Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say, man, Abigail's babysitting for us tomorrow.
No. She's getting her. She had her tonsils and adenoids taken out when she was a lot younger, but they said her adenoids have grown back, and it's putting pressure on her ears, and she's had problems with her ears since she was young with fluid getting in there. So the doctor wants to go back in there and take those out.
Have you ever had surgery?
I've had surgery on my knee. I tore my ACL, but nothing.
That was back in your hooping, big time hooping
That's
days.
right. We need to get that going again.
I remember the Spurs D-League team was looking at you there for a while.
Oh, definitely. I'm probably the worst basketball player.
Yeah, no, come on, man. It's always fun, hooping with the Bay fam.
Yeah, we need to see the boys and all of them that this is finals week. Josh, have you finished your finals? All right, congratulations. I know that's a good thing to get that behind you. But my boys are finishing up their finals this week. I think Tuesday is the last day of finals, and then they'll be coming home, and we need to get it going again. Josh, you come on out and hoop with us. You don't have to be good.
Josh,
I proved that.
Josh was on the show. See, Jason's very humble. He actually is he's like a good director on the court. You are, man. You're a good you're one of those guys that if you're on Jason's team, you inherently get better, even because you're a good director.
No, because I'm a facilitator. I tell my son this all the time. I said, if you when we go down the court, if you need to make it a habit of passing me the ball, because I'm not going to shoot. If it's the last resort is me shooting, I'm going to pass it back to you. You just have to pass it to me so that you can get open, and I'll pass it to you. Learn the lesson of it's important to pass the ball. But
we had a guy in Georgetown, and it's one of those guys that everyone calls coach, but he's not really a coach.
Yeah.
And he would show up, and man, I used to play basketball 5 nights a week. That was my thing, and I got so obsessed with playing basketball when I was younger. My dad would get on to me because I wouldn't do my homework first.
Mm-hmm.
I would immediately go as soon as I'd get home. Once I started driving, I'd go home, change into my gym shorts, throw on a shirt, get a bag, throw on my shoes. Well, I usually flip flops. I have my shoes in the bag, and I'd race up to the rec center, and I'd be up there until they shut it down at 9:00. Then I'd come home, do my homework, then get on the computer, and computer nerd is what I was growing up. So I'd stay on that thing till 1 or 2 in the morning, and then wake back up at 6 and go to school. So kind of the DNA of not getting sleep has been in my blood since I was, in junior high.
I understand that. I'm getting to know you.
But now, I'll be honest, if I did, and I'm so thankful, I will never, ever say this in a negative way. I am so thankful that I have children. It is the greatest joy besides your salvation in marriage that I think you can ever have. But if I didn't have children, I probably would still be up till 2 or 3 in the morning. Honestly, I'm much more productive. I really am. All my life I've been told that success is about the early bird gets the worm and all that. I honestly feel like I'm more successful when I'm up at night doing things. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what that is in my blood. Just with how I'm wired, I get more done as the day goes on. I get less done earlier in the day. It's really weird.
Our family's always been kind of night owls, like to stay up at night. And in fact, last night we were hanging out, and it was good. When we have so much going on, especially with the kids in basketball and cheer. My younger one's doing cheerleading at the school, and it seems like every night of the week we're going somewhere. Like just night before last, Tuesday night, we drove to right after I left work. I went home, changed clothes, went and picked up my mother from the school, and we went straight to Round Top. They were having a basketball game there. We watched the basketball game, 2 basketball games, picked them up, brought them home, stopped to get something to eat. We didn't get home till about 9:30 at that night. So that's kind of like what our schedule is a lot of times. So when we don't have, like, we're not having Wednesday night church now. So last night was so nice just to be able to be with the family, because we didn't have nothing yesterday. It was a rarity. So we just came home and we went outside and played and kicked the ball around, played with the dogs, and we had a great time last night. But I did want to ask you about the basketball. So did you play basketball in high school?
No. In fact, a coach had told me, he's not watching, but he told me this. And I used to play all the time, and I was pretty good. I'll be honest, I was pretty good in high school, but I never played, all right? And this coach told me, he said, Hip. I said, yes, sir. He goes, don't bother trying out for the team. And I said, why? He goes, we already have our picks. And so I didn't. And he told me that. And a coach is supposed to encourage you.
Yeah, no kidding.
This coach did not. And I had other coaches who told me. In fact, there was a guy, a little town called Gerald, Texas, north of Georgetown. And Coach Sumner, I used to go up there and play. I would just try to find anywhere that there was a gym besides the rec center. So I said that I was at the rec center, 5 days a week. Well, the other 2, I was usually some other gym playing. I mean, I played almost every day. And I would go to Gerald, and on Sunday evenings or afternoons, they would have open gym. And Coach Sumner, a lot of coaches don't do this, but Coach Sumner did. He wanted his team to be out there. See, a lot of coaches don't want their team playing like that at these open gyms because they get hurt. Coach Sumner was cool with it. He wanted his guys to always be playing. So they'd open up the gym, and one of the guys there started inviting me. So I'd go in and play with those guys. And Coach Sumner, I told him, he goes, well, don't you play at Georgetown? I said, no, sir. I said, they told me that they already have all their picks. And he goes, well, come to Gerald and play for us. And I sat there kind of turned around and laughed to myself. I said, I ain't going to move all the way here to play basketball for Gerald. And I didn't mean it rudely, but I grew up in Georgetown my whole life, So no, to answer your question, I did not. So I started running my own league called Central Texas Basketball League. And that was kind of my own deal that I did to get.
You have so many.
You learn something new every week.
Well, no, I mean, you have so many endeavors. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, you're definitely. There's no doubt about it. You're definitely an entrepreneur. I mean,
I never made any money doing any of it.
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, you're just casting the net. That's what the Lord calls us to do. One day you're going to bring those fish in.
Well, see, when you said entrepreneur, because it never made money, I probably lost money and everything. It's called portraiture.
Let me ask you this. So, did you grow, because you're tall, did you grow later in high school, into college, or when was your growth spurt, so
Very, very later.
Yeah.
I didn't start taking my growth spurt until I was probably a junior in high school. And the problem was, now you're going to start noticing this. You ever heard of the Hunchback of Notre Dame? You ever heard of that guy?
Yeah.
Was it Quasimodo? Is that what that? So as Josh is over here laughing. It's okay, Josh. Go ahead. Let it out. It's all right. So as I got older and I took my growth spurt, I begged this guy in Georgetown to let me work for him as an internet company. And I was 15, 16. I was begging this guy, Keith, let me work for you. Let me work for you. And finally he said yes. And at the time, I wasn't driving, so I'd get off the bus. I told this story before, but I'd get off the bus and go to work at this place until 10 o'clock because my mom got off work at 10, and I was like their only tech guy. And I was 15 at the time, and he gave me the job. But the reason he was hesitant is because, I mean, I guess kind of legally you can't hire people under 16. But he got to know me, and so he found out a way to get me a job over there. And it was his internet company, his dial-up internet company. It was really cool, called Internet Gateway. People would always call thinking we were Gateway Computers.
Oh, yeah.
So, and we're talking the days of like Windows 3.1, Windows 95. So I was walking people through how to reinstall like their driver. Anyways, and so I would sit like this all the time on that computer, and I would have my feet. I remember I had a desk like this, and I'd always have my feet up, and then I would sit here like this. Mm-hmm. Well, what do you think happens as you start to grow and you're sitting like this all the time?
Yeah.
You notice my shoulders? So you don't notice it too much when I'm standing up, but if I ever drop something, bend over to pick it up, man, that thing's like St. Louis Arch,
Yeah.
And I actually went to the doctor about that because I was worried when I was younger that it was like scoliosis or something.
Yeah.
And he goes, no. He goes, you just need to learn how to start sitting up straight. And he goes, but I think the damage is already done because I was molded into that cheer.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know why I said that, but that's what happened to me, man.
So what are you, 6'3", 6'4"?
Like 6'2.5", 6'3", something like that.
So my son, the reason the most I grew, I'm 6'2", but I grew the most when I was like a senior in high school to a freshman in college.
See, that's me, yeah.
Yeah, late grower, and I always loved basketball too. And when I was in junior high, I was in Cypress, and I played basketball. And I wasn't very good at all, but I loved basketball just because I love the quickness of it, and all it's a fast moving sport. And so when I came to Huntsville, I thought, I'm going to play basketball. I want to play basketball.
I'm a baller.
Yeah, exactly. So the first day, I go in there and I take one look at the team and I realize, nope, I better find something else to do.
You walk in all feeling good.
Yeah.
Did you
got
have
my shorts on, my shoes on?
Did you have remember the pumps, the Reebok, the pumps?
Yeah, I remember that.
You walk into the gym and you have your bag and you're all.
Yeah, so I go in there and it's quiet. Huntsville's quite different than Cypress, and where I was capable in Cypress, I was not capable in Huntsville. It was quickly proven that I was too small, too uncoordinated, not a good shot. But I didn't even try out. It took me a second to see that there's no way I'm making that team. So I got involved in something else. But the reason I say that is my younger son, he loves basketball too, and he is a great. He's a good
really
player.
good. Jeremiah's
he's a good player. But he's so frustrated right now because he's a freshman, and he's on the varsity team, but he's not a starter. He doesn't get a whole lot of playing time, and the reason why is just because he's not as he's the smallest one on the team, and he hasn't grown yet. So it's really frustrating, I think, whenever you want to do something so bad, you want to be good at, and you're just a late bloomer. It's kind of hard.
Well, eventually it'll kick in. That's like me. Literally, when I was a senior, that's really when I started
growing. Yeah,
junior, senior year, I shot up. And in high school, the reason I quit playing football, I loved football. I always wanted to play. I remember I said, man, I just want to play football. And I remember I played in 7th and 8th grade. I wasn't good at all. I was terrible at football on a team. But I remember in 9th grade, I said, I probably shouldn't play. My grandmother did not like us playing football, my brother and I. It scared her to death. She goes, I wish y'all would quit playing that dangerous sport. I can't stand it. She did not like it. And so that factored into it a little bit because I didn't want to, my grandmother, I had a really special relationship with her, and I miss her dearly. But so in 9th grade, I decided I wasn't going to play anymore. The main reason was, man, I only weighed about 110 pounds. I was scrawny, and I dated when you're younger and you have that first girlfriend or second girlfriend, you kind of do whatever they say because you want to keep things going, right?
Yeah.
And so she liked the fact that I had curly hair, and so she did not want me cutting my hair. And so for a year, I never. I'll have to show you pictures. My hair was out to here, and there's a lot of nicknames that I had that were real fun in high school. But I let that hair grow. The motto was "Let the fro grow," and so I let it grow for that young lady way back in the day.
Man, you're touching on a hot nerve here because we're going through this, and or have gone through this, and are going through this. But it is amazing how guys, especially, and it doesn't even have to be the thing that the girl likes. If they think that's what the girl likes, they're going to do it. I'm always telling my older son, but when he was younger, he let his hair grow out because the girl that he was dating at the time, she liked longer hair. And I told him, I was like, son, you can't wear long hair. I mean, I'm sorry, but my hair and your hair are the same. And there's one thing I know, you can't have long hair. And so if she likes long hair, guess what? She just don't like you because that's not you. Because our hair, when you let it grow out, it just kind of grows into like a helmet. It just gets poofier and poofier and poofier. It doesn't get long and flowing, So I was like, if you like long hair, if she likes long hair, buddy, she don't like you.
You just told him straight up, this is how it is.
But I wanted to ask you one other thing before I know we got to break, but you mentioned that you went to the rec center just about every day, right?
Yep. Yes, sir.
And what was that rec center associated with?
The city of
Okay,
Georgetown.
so that's what I figured. So I've long thought, Huntsville does a lot of things right, and they have a lot of good aspects of it. But you think about how many young people are in this community, This city really badly needs an indoor recreation facility that provides basketball, volleyball, and other sports activities for young people. And the city could do this. We could, pass a bond or whatever it takes. And I know people don't like passing bonds around here. But we, as our family, our younger son, we've had to take him to College Station and to Bryan because our city doesn't have a city league because there's not enough courts to play city basketball. And we in Huntsville we deal with a lot with poor families that don't have a lot, and the only outlet that these kids can't go and play club ball or be involved in some sort of travel league or AAU and all these other spring up leagues. Mine are the same way. I can't afford to send my kids to all these different things. All we can do is play upwards basketball, which we do at the church, and if we didn't do it, there'd be nothing.
Yeah.
And then we have to play in city leagues that are in other cities because there's not one here. If you want to do something great for the youth of this city, if you want to make an impact in the next generation of kids and get kids off the street and put them to doing something, the city needs to put together a nice indoor recreation facility for our community. I believe that would be a great investment in the future.
I 100% agree. When they built that rec center in Georgetown, it was a huge deal. And there's a gentleman by the name of Randy Morrow. He passed away, had a terrible cancer that came into his life, and we miss him. In fact, his widowed wife, Robin Morrow, was my 9th grade librarian, and I still talk to her. She always called me number one. Like a what is it, like on Star Trek, like number one, She always, to this day, she still calls me that. Even messages would talk on Facebook. She'd go, "Hey, number one." I said, "Well, I didn't live up to everything you thought of me, but I appreciate you." But she, you know what? She believed in me so much, and I give her a lot of credit. Teachers are a big influence on my life, but I mentioned her because her husband was Randy Morrow, and Randy was an architect of so many good things in Georgetown. He was the Parks and Rec director. And we have great people here, Christy Wheeler and those folks. They do a great job.
And I'm not disparaging anybody that serves in our
they do
city.
awesome.
They do a tremendous job. This is something that's been talked about for a long time in this community, and it's going to take the people wanting it. And in order to want it, you have to collectively sacrifice a little bit. And as you know, our people don't like to hear anything about our taxes going up any. But you have to sacrifice a little bit for the benefit of the whole.
Well, and when that thing, and you're right, and there was great people, but it just wasn't the right time. But as the town continued to grow, people said, "We want this."
Right.
And so Randy started thinking about it, put together the plan, and they built it. And that initial rec center was so good. We had a racquetball court, a gym in there. I mean, everything. Then, as the community continued to grow, they said, we need to expand this thing. And I'll tell you what, when they expanded it, it turned into an unbelievable world-class facility. They've got indoor swimming pools in there now.
We have a nice swimming pool and all that. I know they invested in that many years ago, developing all of that, and they've done a tremendous job with all that, providing outdoor recreation facilities for our town. We desperately needed that at the time, but there's just not a lot of indoor recreation facilities, and Bryan just spent a tremendous amount of money on building a huge one over there. And I'm not saying the city needs anything like that, but the city of College Station has a much smaller one that's really nice.
Yeah. So that the people can't see this, but that's the indoor one that they built in town. I mean, that thing just turned into and they even put a splash pad. That's the indoor gym. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And they turned the old rec center into a teen senior center. So the teen/senior center is kind of cool.
Yeah. It would provide so much, though. I mean, and that one over there in Bryan College Station, it provides so much for the underprivileged over there, especially. You see kids from all different economic backgrounds that they can't do something that other kids can do, like get involved in these leagues. They need the help of the community to put together something that they can do.
Well, somebody out there this morning's listening, and they've got the energy, and they've got the mindset, and they've got the connections to say, I've been thinking about that, and I just needed somebody to talk about it on that morning show, and I'm going to start getting it together. So that could be you this morning.
Yeah,
could be you. You could be
and
the
like
spark.
I said, we have great leadership here, and it's not the leadership. It's going to have to come from the people.
Yeah, that's it. Well, let's take a break. Let us know your thoughts this morning. Many of you are chiming in. We'd love to hear from you today, and let us know if you think Huntsville would benefit from a recreation center. And don't think, I know you're saying, well, no, because I don't want my taxes to go up. Let's take out the idea, even though it's going to have to happen, but take out the idea that if it didn't cost anything, would Huntsville benefit from a recreation center? We'll talk more when we come back. It's my favorite segment of the week, news you can absolutely use.
Absolutely.
Brought to you by Jason Bay. We'll take a break. Stay with us. More to come. This is your show, brought to you by First Baptist Church, a harbor of hope, here on a Thankful Thursday. More information is online at fbchuntsville.org. Stay with us.
Hey friends, Rob Hitt, Media and Community Outreach Minister here at First Baptist Church, Huntsville. Let me ask you, when's the last time you felt real hope? Maybe it's been a while since you've been to church, or maybe you've never felt connected to a church at all. Well, friends, that's okay. Here at First Baptist, we're a harbor of hope, and we welcome everyone just as they are. We have programs throughout the week for all ages to come together, ask questions, grow in faith, and find the hope that only Jesus Christ can bring. Whether you're looking for a fresh start or a community to call home, we'd love for you to join us. Come experience something real. For more information, visit fbchuntsville.org. First Baptist Church, Huntsville, a harbor of hope.
In this harbor of hope, we are safe inside.
This is Guardian Defense in Huntsville, Texas, a trusted family-owned and operated gun store and range in the heart of East Texas. Guardian Defense is your one-stop destination for Texas LTC, NRA basic pistol and rifle courses, pistol refresher training, as well as a wide selection of quality firearms and ammunition. At Guardian Defense, empowerment is within reach through their Texas DPS-approved license to carry classes. Certified instructors will guide you through every facet of firearm safety, conflict resolution, and the pertinent legal aspects. Book now to become proficient and responsible in handling a firearm with complete confidence. For the eager learners, the fundamentals of pistol and rifle usage await discovery in their comprehensive 8-hour NRA basic courses. You're invited to connect with Guardian Defense on Facebook and Instagram, or give them a call at 936-293-0364. You can also visit them online at guardiandefensellc.com. Guardian Defense, your reliable partner in mastering firearm safety and acquiring quality firearms in the heart of Texas.
The Oak Ridge Disciple House is a faith-based 501c3 nonprofit Christian character building ministry helping men 18 and older who are suffering from drug and alcohol addictions. If you or someone you know needs help, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and that light can be found through the Oak Ridge Disciple House. For more information, visit oakridgedisciplehouse.com.
This is KHSP LP, Huntsville, Texas, the spirit of Huntsville. Support for SpiritRadio.fm comes from loyal listeners just like you. Want to help spread the good news across Huntsville and beyond? Underwriting opportunities are available for loyal listeners, businesses, and nonprofits. Visit SpiritRadio.fm and tap Donate today.
This is Jason Bay, the pastor at First Baptist Church, Huntsville, and you're listening to Spirit Radio, the spirit of Huntsville.
Braylon, say, this is Spirit Radio.
This is Spirit Radio.
It's that time of the week, coming at you live from Studio 1229J. Thanks for staying with us. It's time for news you can use. And yes, the Bats have made their way back to Mexico here at 1229J. So when the wind blows, not so bad, but will be in a few months. Jason, what do you have for us today?
All right. Well, it's good to be with you, Rob. We do have some news you can use today, news that hopefully will generate discussion for you and keep you informed in the things that may not be right on the front page, but maybe kind of deeper into the newspaper. First, we always like to start out with sporting events. This past week, as we know, we talked about it last week, but the Alpha Omega Lions won the state championship. Can you believe that? Our very own Alan Barnes, who's our music minister here, he serves as their defensive coordinator, and he has done that for many years. I mean, as long as I've known him, he's either volunteered over there and then moved up the ranks and served as their defensive coordinator, and that he loves it, and he loves the kids, and the kids love him, and he not only works with them in football but just in life. And I was so proud to watch that game and see them bring home the trophy, because I know how much effort and energy that they put into it. It was a rematch from last year. They played the same team last year, and last year there's a rule in six-man football, which there's a lot of unique rules in six-man football. If you watch six-man football, it takes a little while to get caught up on all the rules, and then they're typically very high scoring and very little defense. And that's really what won them the championship this year, was their defense, which, Alan works with. But and in their league, it's 1st and 15, not 1st and 10. It's 15, and they play on an 80-yard field, and the field's only 40 yards wide, so it's the dimensions are a little bit different. But what was so neat is just to see last year. There's a rule that says when one team after halftime, when one team gets up over 45, the game's over. Doesn't matter where it's at.
There were short games this year for Alpha Omega.
No kidding. They just made it to halftime a lot of times, and then the game was called at halftime. If you're up by 45 at halftime, it's over. Or any time after that, if you get up and if you score a touchdown and have 45, then it's over. So last year at the state championship, you and I went to that one. It was earlier in the day, and we could go, so we went to it, and Alpha Omega lost by 45. The game was over after halftime. This year, Alpha played the same team, and they beat them by 45. So they've made considerable improvements, and Alan, we need to bring him on sometimes. He really had a strategy all year long about some things that they were going to change, and it really made an impact. They scored 101 points. Not a basketball game, a football game. Can you imagine that? 101 points to beat that team.
They set all sorts of records, not only in throughout the season, but that game. That was the highest combined point total ever in a TAPS game. It was 156 points combined, I think. It was also the highest points for a winning team ever. And then just in that game alone, Jason, I saw this yesterday. This was the most total yards by a team in a TAPS championship game. 800 yards in that game.
Unbelievable.
Hudson Ramey, a touchdown receiving record. He had 6 touchdown receptions. That's the most ever in a championship game. He also had 373 receiving yards. That's the most ever. And then Case Collum, who Alan told me I didn't even keep one of the top quarterbacks in the nation in six-man. How about 615 yards through the air? Good night.
And he's coming back. I mean, he'll come back next year.
Was he only a sophomore, I think?
I think so.
Wow.
And there'll be a lot of the team returning. They're losing some key players, but a lot of their team will be coming back. 12 passing touchdowns.
He threw 12.
Unbelievable.
12. That's over 70 points right there just in passing touchdowns.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was quite a game. I watched. We were talking about before we came back on the air that another one of your entrepreneur endeavors. It was SHN Network, which is
Porpreneur. Remember that? Porpreneur.
which is a broadcast. It's really a nonprofit organization if you want to look at it, because what Rob has done is he's helped a lot of small school districts figure out a way to broadcast their games, to stream their games, to get them the right equipment, to show them how to operate it, and then how to put that on a platform like YouTube. So really, I mean, Rob's not making anything from it, really, just out there helping people to be able to know how to do that and get sponsorships so that they can pay whatever little fees that they have to pay, and also get some broadcasters that will be able to do that.
We did it when I came to Huntsville. I was talking to Coach Southern, and they were looking at other alternatives. He was honest with me. He says, hey, we're thinking about doing this and this. I said, well, if we can do this, would you be open to it? He goes, yeah, absolutely. And so we brought video to the radio station when I was there, and it's and they've continued that on through their own thing, but it's turned out really, really well, and it's good for those kids. At the end of the day, it's nice to make a little bit of money, but the main focus of it should always be promoting the student athletes, and that's what our SHN brand has always done. Carl and I never got in it for the money, although we thought when we started, for us it was, I don't want to say it was like revolutionary, but this was way pre-COVID. We were doing this in 2013, 2012, and video back then wasn't a big thing. We were doing it through something called the High School Cube. It used to be called the Cube, thecube.com. And then once we found out we could do the same thing on YouTube, we switched to YouTube because the platform is so much bigger. Well, the Cube ended up selling to NFHS, and NFHS bought them out.
I know that one. Well, what I was going to say, so Rob does it, has provided the resources to New Waverly, and you do that one personally. And then he's also provided the resources to Alpha Omega, which before they didn't have. They did, I don't know if they had it, some sort of broadcast on radio or audio. Did they have that?
I don't think so. No.
So they didn't have anything. But it's allowed me to watch every single game that they played this year, and I really enjoyed that because I like to follow the local teams, and it gives me the opportunity to see it. I can't drive from here to, I mean, their district, because there's not a lot of six-man teams, their district is so big. They're traveling hours or hour and a half away, and Tyler Fordyce broadcast their games this year, did a tremendous job. I was telling him that I watched the first one that they did together, and I watched the very last one, and the amount of growth that Tyler had over the course of the season was tremendous at how he called the game. So that was good. But I wanted to touch base on that first and foremost. Secondly, Texas A&M is in the college football playoffs. Did want to mention this, but this is in the Austin American Statesman magazine today, or newspaper today. Texas A&M Texas versus Miami prices release schedule for college football playoff game. It's scheduled not this Saturday, but next Saturday, and the college game day is coming to College Station that day.
Oh, how cool is that?
It's going to be at 11 a.m. My family, my wife and I, we're alumni, and we bought season tickets to go with our kids because all three of them are, not all three of them, but three of them are in A&M, and they go to the games with their sports pass because they're students. So we wanted to kind of do that this year, and so we bought season tickets. So we were made available to be able to buy the playoff tickets. So we're going.
Nice.
Yes. But the aftermarket prices on these seats are starting out at $400 a piece. The cheapest option on Vivid Seats is listing at $400. This is an 11 o'clock game, and they're expecting that the attendance officially seats about 102,000, which they've surpassed that just about every game this year by having standing room only tickets. So check that out next Saturday, not this Saturday, but next Saturday at 11 a.m. A&M will play Miami in the first round and first ever hosted college football playoff in College Station. So that's going to be a great time, and we're looking forward to that. It's supposed to be good weather too.
Well, here's something cool when people say they doubt the FBS, and I'm on the fence, about FCS. I miss FCS. I think FCS is, to me, is so much better than FBS, the format and but then NIL, and that's a whole nother show, but it just kind of ruined all that, to be honest, for me and as a fan. But what I'm getting at, these bowl games, the crybabies have came out now and said, well, if we're not going to get in the playoffs, we're just not even going to do anything. And so you've got the Notre Dames of the world and many other teams now, even Florida State. They've all bailed out, said they don't even want a bowl game. So they're done. And, I mean, what kind of message is that? Think about the seniors on these teams. That was their last opportunity. But because these teams are hurt because they didn't get into the playoffs, that they just decided that they're going to tear up and just completely say, no, we don't even want a bowl game. We're done. And that's how it sounds if you listen to it. And I know there's a lot of discussion on this, but here's the thing. JMU was an FCS football team a few years ago. In fact, Sam Houston came back and beat them on their way to a national championship many years ago, if you remember this, a few years ago. JMU has consistently been pretty good in the FBS. Well, guess what? They are in the college football playoff. Notre Dame was livid about that. That's why they decided that they didn't want a bowl game.
Right.
JMU is in.
Yeah,
it's pretty. The landscape has changed big time.
And let me. So the bowl system is crumbling right before our very eyes, like you said, because
there's the cookie crumble bowl, bowl. Get it?
Cheez-Its bowl. That's where Texas is playing. No comment. But what I was getting at is there's a reason why they're not playing it. I'm not defending it. I'm just saying what you said about how NIL has changed. And here's the reason. So a lot of these schools, more schools than ever, are opting out of the bowls. And here's the reason, or here's one of the reasons. Because what they realize is if you go to a bowl, you have 15 more days of practice time available to work with your team. So most times in the past, every team that was offered a bowl accepted the bowl because it was an opportunity to work with your team and prepare them not only for the bowl, but for next year with the younger players for 15 more days.
Well, and also chance to make a little extra scratch.
Yeah, but a lot of these bowls, even with the travel and going, is not very lucrative to the team because it costs so much to get the team wherever they're going. So now Notre Dame doesn't have to worry about that. But here's the real reason. So the real reason is those 15 days don't matter anymore because the next season you're dealing with a whole nother team because of the transfer portal, because of NIL. All these players that you would have been building and developing, guess what? They're probably not going to be on your team anyway. They're all going to declare for the transfer portal, even if they're going back to that school that they came from, just to put the negotiations back on the table. It's terrible because what you basically have is every single year you have free agency.
Yeah,
it's a type of negotiation tactic that the players are using just to drive up their price to get more money. It really has changed the landscape of college football in every aspect, and until they get some sort of governing body, and I'm not talking about the NCAA because that's not a governing body. They have proven that they're not a governing body. They haven't stepped in to correct any of this. Until they get some sort of governing body that says, hey, we're not going to allow this and we're going to allow this, it's going to be the wild, wild west in college football, and that's what we're seeing. It's so disorganized in every aspect. But anyway, we could talk a whole show on that. I want to hit one other thing. This is from the Wall Street Journal today. They're the best team in college football, the headline says, and they barely practice at all. The number one team in America currently is Indiana. And have you heard the story about Curt Cignetti? Have you heard of all this? What's going on? And Indiana is number one. You know, they were the laughing stock of college football just a few years ago. And now they're the number one team. And what's interesting about him and the way that they really take a alternative approach, and I don't know how this is going to work or not, but instead the article says instead of endless hours on the practice field and a grueling regimen of drills, Cignetti's Indiana team has reached the pinnacle of the game by hardly practicing at all. In a sport that caps practice time at a maximum of 20 hours per week, the Hoosiers typically use just 6 of those hours on the field. Walkthroughs before and after games are barely as long as an episode of The Office, the article says. Even Cignetti's most arduous seasons fall well short of the 2-hour mark. I've always been a short practice guy, Signetti said. My practices have probably gotten even shorter through the years as we do everything we can to prepare the team fully but keep them fresh and healthy. Very, very interesting. When I read that article, I just thought to myself, man, I would have thought the exact opposite. This guy, Signetti, seems so intense and so bought in. You would have thought that they would be the hardest practicing team in all of America. But according to the article and according to Signetti, they don't practice that much at all.
Wow.
And that is surprising. And I don't know if I buy into that or not, because I feel like that's going to catch up with them. But it's a fascinating story. If you haven't checked it out, Indiana Hoosiers, #1 in football. They're in the college football playoffs. They have a first-round bye. But the story is amazing, how he's taken this team from nothing to something, and it's largely due in part to the coach and the players that he's drawn there. And most of these players were not well-known players. They were just kind of ragtag bunch. It really is the Hoosiers basketball story applied to football. It's pretty interesting.
You know, it's crazy. Here at Sam Houston, we had on the basketball side of things, you know, Indiana Hoosiers all been a pretty good basketball team. Justin Bailey was an assistant coach. He left to go to Indiana. With him went Lamar Wilkerson. Lamar Wilkerson just set a record for the most three-pointers in a game there for Indiana. That whole program, not just the football, but the basketball, everything seems like it's on the uprising there in Indiana. It's incredible.
Oh, man, it's unbelievable, and it's drawing the attention of – and by the way, Signetti, they just announced this week, he's won the Coach of the Year 2 years in a row. First time that's happened. 2 years in a row he's won the Coach of the Year, so that's pretty impressive what that team has been able to accomplish.
Speaking of, you know, these type of awards, did you ever receive any type of like third place, second place? I know you didn't get first place, but the best chiropractor in Huntsville?
I'm still working towards that, Rob. I'm still working on that. Please vote for me.
So Jason Bay showed up as the best of Huntsville, as the best chiropractor in town.
Yeah.
I voted for you.
Show you how well known I am.
Say, boy, he's not only good at preaching a sermon, he can crack some backs, man.
I will realign you. That's for sure.
He brings a backbone on Sunday morning.
All right. Back to the Wall Street Journal. Into health news.
Okay.
I'd like to hit this. Now, there's been a great change in the healthcare industry recently, and the reason this article caught my eye is because I actually experienced this. So I told you earlier in the show that my daughter had to go to we went to the doctor, and then we ended up, he told us that when he first went and looked at it and said that, watch it over the weekend, and if it gets worse, go to the emergency room. So that's what we ended up doing. We ended up going into the emergency room in College Station, because that's where our network of doctors is at Scott & White. So we took her over to College Station to the doctor. And my son, he is trying to be a doctor. That's what he's going through Texas A&M to do. He's going to graduate this year, and then he's hoping to go to medical school and do all that. So he has to do a lot of volunteer hours and shadowing of doctors and stuff like that. In fact, Dr. Taranjo locally allowed him to shadow him just about all last summer, and he developed a great relationship with him. But one of the other things that he has to do, volunteer to do, excuse me, is be a scribe. Excuse me. And a scribe is a person that goes into a room with the doctor, and they write down everything that's said and take notes, basically like minutes of a business meeting would be. They write down everything that the doctor said, any kind of whatever the patient says, they would write that down and keep track of it. So Noah has to volunteer or to do that as well, because it helps you be able to know certain language that doctors use and how to deal with patients and all that kind of stuff. So he's going to start that this summer. But here, listen to this. Before your doctor uses AI to record your visits, ask these questions. Now, what doctors are doing, instead of using scribes in emergency room or even office visits, is they're using AI to record, and then the record of your visit is then transcribed, and the AI is developed specifically for medical use. Exactly. And so when we were in the emergency room, we go in there, and the emergency room doctor comes in, and she says, "Do you mind if we're going to this new system where we're using AI to help us record our visits to take notes on everything?" And we were like, "No, that's no problem." But this is a practice. I told Kim when we left, man, this is going to really kind of revolutionize. I mean, think how much money they're going to save, because they have to employ these scribes to serve in every doctor's office. You have to have someone to take those notes. So this article raises some questions about how this is being used, and it says that you should ask these three questions come to mind whenever a doctor uses AI to scribe the consultation room. Number one, can the doctor record without my consent? And this article says, because this is such new technology, it varies from state to state. Some providers must ask you first, and other places they don't. Now, when we went in, I don't know what the state law says in Texas, but when we went in, she did ask us, "Is it okay if I record this?" And we were like, "No problem." But the second question it says that you should ask is, what is being recorded? And the article eventually says, assume everything is, and that means anything you say while the recorder is on may be reflected in your medical records, where your insurer may be able to see it. Ooh. It's pretty scary. Number three, who is processing my data and where is it stored? The visit recordings usually end up in the hands of third-party vendors ranging from big names like Microsoft to medical technology startups, usually in the cloud, as you would expect. Their privacy practices differ. So what's your thought on that, Rob?
When you were saying about Noah doing that, I was saying, why don't they just record it? And I was thinking of that, and then there you go.
Yeah.
And nothing on him or anyone else, but the technology is out there. I use it for journalism like crazy, and in fact, later today I'm going to meet with you were talking about funerals, and I help out Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home from time to time, and they had asked me to honor a loved one's life next week, and I'm meeting with the family this afternoon at 2:00, and I actually record our conversations when I meet with the family now. And I ask them, I said, "Hey, just so I can put together the service in the right way that honors, your husband or your son or whoever it may be." I said, "Do you mind if I record this?" Mm-hmm. And they always say yes. And then I go back and listen, but I actually use AI to help transcribe the audio of those conversations to help me remember, because I only get an hour. When the funeral home calls, I don't know these families. I may know through some avenue a little bit, but I don't know much. And trying to honor that loved one in a way that would be a blessing to the family and that person, I only get about an hour to meet with them. And trying to tell someone's story from an hour is very difficult. So I have to record, and I used to write it and take notes. Now I record it, and then I transcribe that, and then that helps me to put together the service.
The only thing that concerns me is what the article said, and
the insurance companies. Yeah,
because at the end of the day, if they can use something against you,
they will,
and if they can drive up prices or deny you for coverage because of something that you said in a previous meeting, well, this is a pre-existing condition because you mentioned it here, or according to this, you're dealing with mental health issues, because you said you were struggling mentally with this issue, and then that goes into your records, and then, it could even maybe prevent you from getting jobs or something in the future if you've proven in your mental health records that you are dealing with mental health issues or something like that. I'm not saying that's what it is.
Well, let's just say you had an 80-year-old patient and the doctor steps out and they're joking around with their grandson, and the room, and the 80-year-old patient says, Well, when I was 8 years old, I broke into my grandpa's tobacco pouch. That was the only time I ever did it. And then the insurance company hears it.
Tobacco
well,
use.
you lied because you said you never did, but we have it on your record that when you were 8 years old, you got into your grandpa's tobacco pouch.
Yeah, or what about, life insurance policies,
man.
where you fill out a life insurance policy and they say, well, you didn't let us know that when you signed up for this policy that you really had this, and we can go back and, I don't know. But anyway, that was in the Wall Street Journal today. Take a look at that and be aware that nowadays the AI, artificial intelligence, is affecting every area, even our health. All right, moving on. Cracker Barrel. Remember, we broke the news about Cracker Barrel here on Good Morning Huntsville. We broke the news about Cracker Barrel using the alternative strategy that we said was not going to work.
And it didn't.
And it didn't work.
Yeah.
So now they're trying to gain back customers, and they reversed all the strategy. They did get a whole lot of free publicity from all that, thanks to Good Morning Huntsville.
Absolutely, yeah.
but and especially when they reversed their policy and went back to the old logo, their old country store stylings in the place. But now, Cracker Barrel, this article says, Cracker Barrel takes McDonald's strategy to win back lost customers. Now think about it, Rob. Of all the things that McDonald's employs to win customers, what is it that you think that Cracker Barrel is now adopting?
The McCracker. They're coming up with the McCracker, right?
I don't think so.
Oh, I
don't know how. That might be an idea from the marketing agency.
I didn't know. I thought maybe McRib, limited edition McCracker. Never know.
Maybe you should send that up the chain. Anyway, no. What they're doing, Cracker Barrel is now offering free toys with kids' meals for Christmas in 2025. By the way, did you hear about the Grinch meal thing that's going on?
Yes, and okay, I won't get into this. My wife made the mistake, I love you, sweetheart, but made the mistake of telling our children, if y'all are good, y'all can get the Grinch meal.
Yes,
well, guess who y'all means? That means me taking them to go get the Grinch meal.
And you can't find it, can you?
No, and here's the deal, okay? The Grinch meal is not for children.
It's $10.
It's not, and it's not a kid's meal. So my children are thinking, and I thought,
10 chicken McNuggets in that thing.
And we're thinking that it's a kid's meal. So my children were pleasantly surprised and upset to find out, no, Disney is the kid's meal right now.
Yeah.
On the app, Joshua knows all about the app. I don't even know how that place makes money because they give away so much food. That's why I use it. It's the best app ever.
It really is.
So I use the app. What did the app tell me? The app says the McDonald's on 11th Street there at 45, not available.
Yeah,
not available.
Right. All over.
No, but hear me out. Sam Houston, available. We drive up. This is here in Huntsville. This is ridiculous.
Line.
There is a line of cars going down Sam Houston, almost back to that light. We're back about a block. And I'm sitting there, and my kids are in the back.
Right.
Daddy, we want the Grinch meal.
Did you do it?
Yes, I had to.
You got the socks?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah,
way to go,
got
Rob.
2 pair of them.
There you go. It's worth $20, right?
Yeah. But I was surprised, and I asked the lady. I said, "Do y'all still have the Grinch?" She says, "Yes, we still have the Grinch."
Yes,
you could tell she was already burned out.
They're banking on this thing.
Yes.
I mean, they're getting all kind of. It's sold out all across America, but so we stumbled into it.
Didn't know it was going on.
Well, okay, so remember I told you about us going over to College Station, take the emergency room, all that. After all that, we tell her, okay, where do you want to go? I want to go to McDonald's. So we go over to McDonald's, and we drive through, no line, nothing. And we get there, and Kim's like, oh, they got the Grinch meal. You want the Grinch meal? Well, she didn't want the Grinch meal. She wanted the Disney one. And I thought, well, shoot, I'm going to get the Grinch meal. So I got the Grinch meal, and Kim got the Grinch meal because it is an adult meal.
Yeah.
So we got that.
Did you shake the fries? And
No
all that?
way. I smelled that.
You didn't like the pickle powder?
I just smelled it, and I thought, no, man, I'm
was
out.
so good.
I'm out on that. So anyway, we're going through. We get the meal, and I got the socks too. But that was before this whole thing went viral, and so Kim tried to go back and get another one, because then later Magdalene decided that she did want the Grinch meal. This is days later, and it was all over College Station. It was completely sold out, and then there was one place that had it, and the line was all the way down the road. And she's like, "I'm not waiting on that."
She's like, done.
But anyway, Cracker Barrel, what they're doing is very unique. Now through December 24th, Cracker Barrel will include a free toy from the Old Country Store valued at $5 or less with every dine-in kids meal. If the toy exceeds that price, customers will receive a $5 discount and pay the difference. That's pretty good.
Not bad, yeah.
Yeah, you go in there, you get the kids meal, and then your kid can go into and it's not just you get what they give you like you do at McDonald's. The kid gets to shop in the store and pick something out that's $5 or less. Now, good luck with that. If you have kids, what are they going to pick out? The chances are you're going to end up spending $20, and maybe that's what they're counting on.
Yeah.
And give you a $5 discount off of that toy. But man, and then also another thing they're doing is they're dropping some of their prices. They're having a holiday meal promotion. The chain is offering launching meals for two for $19.99. Two full-size entrees starting at $19.99. So they're trying to win back customers after all that fiasco. But still in the food notes for what you and I love to talk about, fast food and such as that. But this chain just beat Chick-fil-A and McDonald's for the most loved drive-thru in the U.S. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I told you the number one chain for fast food was Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Now they have some competition. Can you think of? You probably can't, but just try to guess. This place is named the most loved fast food brand by Yelp. Yelp did a survey.
Is it a chicken place?
Yes.
It's probably Cane's.
No.
No.
We don't have one here, by the way. Can
you give me a hint?
Okay. It's spicy.
Spicy? When we don't have one here? Del Taco?
No. It's chicken.
Oh, it's chicken. I have no idea.
Yep. There you go.
Which one?
Dave's Hot Chicken.
Never even heard of it.
Where did you try it?
Josh said Dave's Hot.
Oh, yeah.
So the people can't hear, but explain what Josh just said.
Josh says that he's never tried it, but his friend tried it and had some sort
Carolina
of
Reaper.
Carolina Reaper, whatever that is. But, yeah, so Dave's Hot Chicken is the latest thing. Founded in the Los Angeles parking lot in 2017, Dave's has expanded across the country with a goal of perfecting Nashville-style hot chicken from classic tenders to spicy sandwiches and an array of sides and desserts to boot.
Look at
Dave's has one of the highest Yelp review distributions of all brands, with 71% reviews being 4 or 5 stars. Additionally, Dave's Hot Chicken is also the most loved food brand in Yelp's Western Division. It holds the top spot statewide for Arizona, Florida, Kansas, Utah, and Washington, as well as Washington, D.C. area. So maybe it hasn't reached down here yet. But I did hear some. I think they're up in Dallas area.
Looks like
maybe Houston.
On their menu here.
Houston.
Boy, look at that food. They've got it named wrong, though. They should rename some of these the 2 a.m. wake-up call, because that's what some of those things are. Look how good that looks, though.
It does look good, but,
don't look good for my stomach, though.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, man. I've dealt so much recently with heartburn, gastric reflux, whatever. Man, I really got to watch what I eat and all that spicy stuff. I do love a good chicken wing, though. Like hot chicken wings. I really enjoy that, but I don't eat it as much anymore because of those reasons. All right, I wanted to end with this, Rob. This is a list. People love lists. And this is a list of once popular American traditions that people believe will disappear in the coming decades. So these are things that people believe will disappear that have once were a thing and now probably won't be a thing much more. Now, I want you to think about these things. These are just random people suggesting different things that in American traditions that they believe will disappear. Number one, no, this is no particular order. One person said, I think class reunions will be more or less entirely dead in 25 years. Have you ever been to your high school reunion?
No, every one of them I've been gone.
Yeah. Well, I know they've had. I'm right here in Huntsville, and they've had one several times for our class, and I haven't attended, not because I didn't want to. It just how. But I do kind of think that is a dying thing, don't you?
I've never. Well, I see me, and I don't mean it rudely, but I never really connected with many in my grade or my class to begin with. I talked to a few people, but I never really had a ton of friends in my own class. I was always friends with upperclassmen, and then secondly, I don't know, with life and children and all that, it's just too much work to go and do things, So that's and I don't mean it rudely.
What about Bridget?
No, she's never went either.
Never desired to go.
No.
Same, like Kim as well. She grew up in Dallas and DeSoto, a large school there, and public school, and they've had different reunions, but she's never really wanted to go. So maybe that's one of those traditions that will be dead before too long.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, number two. I'm really afraid it's going to be trick or treating in your neighborhood. Now, this is a big thing at in Elkins Lake.
I was going to say they don't live in Elkins Lake. That's growing. That ain't going nowhere.
Yeah. So there's a increasing trend. This article says that parents take their children to a place where people are giving candy out of their trunks, like at a park or whatever.
Trunk or treats.
Yes, or a church, and so. The idea of trick-or-treating in the neighborhood is maybe in certain places something that's passing away. Gender reveal parties.
I think that's becoming more and more popular.
Well, it really is a thing.
I don't like them, but they're there.
Yeah.
Pinterest is what started all this mess, by the way. Pinterest.
That's what started it?
Yeah, all this Pinterest stuff.
Everything is filmed nowadays. You notice that?
Everything. Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing that's not prescribed. I mean, even engagements. You see an engagement and the whole thing is videoed. It's all, and it's put on. Anyway. Mm-hmm. Next, Christmas cards.
I can see that one dying out, unfortunately, because the younger generation, we don't do them, and I miss doing them.
Yeah, I know it. It really is a thing that not nearly as many people do anymore. I mean, I remember back in the day, whenever I was a kid, we lived in Cypress at the time, and we would get Christmas cards. My mom would put them over the doorway, like in the kitchen, and they'd be put up all the way around of all the Christmas cards that we got, and it was always fun to get because they all had different
designs.
Designs.
It's kind of the magic of Christmas.
It really is. And then
we'd put them on a tree. We had a tree, and I made for my business when I had my computer business. We had an outlet right in the middle of the main floor there in Georgetown in our shop. Where people walked in, and I put a tree there every year because the power was right there, and I stuck all the cards that our clients and vendors had sent us, and man, I had stacks of them, and that's what, instead of ornaments, I had all the Christmas cards on the tree.
Yeah, so that's seems like a kind of a dying tradition. I know that we don't get nearly as many as we used to, and we've sent them out a couple of times, but definitely haven't sent them out in a few years. It's just
I've only gotten one this year, and it was from Sam Moak.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, from Moak & Moak Attorneys at Law.
Yeah.
I ain't got from anybody else, and I used to get 10 or 20 of them.
Sam is president of our local A&M club. Did
you
know
really?
That?
No, I did not.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
He puts that together every month, and then we were scheduled to have a bonfire at his house over before the Texas game, but we were under a burn ban at that time. So now we had to push it back. We're about to have one here before this playoff.
Do those
game.
meetings ever start where you have to go whoop whoop at the beginning?
No. It's more. It's more. We have lunch together, and then he'll usually bring like a guest in from the university to kind of keep us updated on whatever's going on there at the university. Yeah. All right. Next, Black Friday. It's already dying.
Yeah,
I think it'll
ruined.
be basically dead in the next 25 years. Nobody's going to rush at midnight to save $50 on a TV.
No, and all the stuff now, they do it 2-3 weeks in advance anyways.
And it's all online. Most people are buying stuff online nowadays, so going to the store. But I will say, I've only done it a couple of times, but it was fun when Kim and I did it. We'd get up early in the morning and go looking for the deals, trying to save a few dollars on some toy or whatever. And it was fun getting out and doing that, but no, we're never going to do it again. And I got totally scammed one time. These furniture stores, they put out these super deals,
Do you think?
Yeah.
Work?
And so in half the time you go there, and we sold out of that one. I mean, and you're there when the store opens. One time, now this is not a local store. One time we get to the store, and the couch was there. Now let me just tell you, we've learned this over the course of time that we used to buy like really nice furniture, but when you have 10 kids and a whole bunch of dogs in the house, what you do is you buy the cheapest thing you have, and then when that thing's worn out, you throw it out and you buy another cheap one to replace it.
You throw it out there and burn it, right?
Yeah. $200 couch. This was a $200 couch that they were selling at this firm. Not local, by the way, out of town. In the A publisher. We get there, they sell it to us. We're like, yes. And so we scheduled the delivery date. All this is coming up. Well, when the delivery date came, no couch. So Kim calls me up and well, we didn't get the couch. Well, we don't have record of your order. Well, we ordered it. Well, somehow that got canceled. Okay, well, it got canceled. We didn't cancel it. Y'all must have canceled it. Well, can you go ahead and schedule it to be delivered for whenever? No, we can't honor that anymore, that price anymore.
Oh.
After all that, I mean, we spent 2 hours, first an hour driving down there, an hour going through all the rigmarole of getting it and scheduling delivery date, nothing.
Did you get the money back?
Yeah, they gave us the money back, but they weren't going to sell it to us for $200.
Wow. I thought they were going to say, well, we also can't give the money back, but we can apply it towards another purchase.
That's exactly probably what they want. We can sell this other one to you, or we can sell that one to you for $350. And I told the person, I was like, what do you think we got up at 5 a.m. to get there at 6 a.m. whenever it opened for a Black Friday deal to pay $350 for the couch? No, we wanted $200.
I think that was the first Sunday I ever visited First Baptist years ago, and Jason was here like 4 hours early repenting. Just kidding.
Black Friday's dying. All right, these are things that are dying, American traditions that people believe in 25 years will be dead. The Miss America pageant.
Yeah, there's no fanfare around that anymore.
I don't even think it's going to last 25 years. It's probably already dead. Let me see. I'm just going to hit a couple more. Fireworks, privately shot fireworks. Did you ever do that, by the way?
I do. Man, I miss doing that. We did it all the time. And in our neighborhood in Georgetown, we were encapsulated by the city limits, but we were in one bubble that was considered out of the city limits, even though the city limits was around. It was really unique. Mm-hmm. And the only reason that we were not ever put into the city limits in our neighborhood is because the city did not want to pay for the infrastructure to run sewer. Now, we had city water, but in order to, if they would have put us in the city limits, mm-hmm. they have to provide sewer services. Mm-hmm. They didn't want to spend the money doing that because it was only 4 or 5 streets of houses. And mm-hmm. so there's a bubble in Georgia, and it was a very unique place to live. And so in that bubble, and this was before they said, you can't shoot them within 2,000 feet of the city limit line. Now there's all these rules. Mm-hmm. I was like, we're not in the city. Mm-hmm. We're in the county. We're shooting fireworks. And everybody from around the neighborhood, even those in the city, they would come to our cul-de-sac, mm-hmm. and we'd launch fireworks right there on the cul-de-sac every year. I miss doing that, man.
So I love doing it out where we live. I love doing it when there's not a burn ban. Usually 4th of July you can't do it because there's a burn ban and there's no rain or whatever. Mm-hmm. A lot of times this is the best time. New Year's Day is the best time to do it because you have had rain in the winter months. I always enjoyed doing it. The kids love to do it. Even if it's sparklers or little Roman candles or anything like that, they absolutely love to do it. But it is a thing it's dying very, very quickly because all these cities now are implementing, no fireworks, all these different bans that they put on it. And the fireworks are so expensive now when you go to try and buy them. And so many other cities are putting them on, But I want to tell you something. We stumbled in over the 4th of July this past year. We had the opportunity because of one of our church members owns a beach house down at Surfside, and they invited us or allowed us to go use their beach house as a family over the break, over the 4th of July. And we went down to the beach on July 4th. And I mean, from one end of that beach to the other, there was people. I mean, it looked like a war going off over there. There's people shooting off fireworks. And we took our dog with us to the beach. And we lasted literally about 5 minutes because that dog was freaking out because it was literally, I mean, there was people lined up on the beach. They didn't have where they were located because the Surfside's here and it's outside the city limits, which is technically Freeport right there.
Yeah.
I mean, they allowed it on the beach there, and people would drive. It was car after car after car after car. People would drive from the city, even from Houston, to come out there so that they could shoot off fireworks, and they could do it right there on the beach.
Wow.
It was a total mess, though. After the next day, so much trash out there, it was ridiculous.
Let the tide get it and pull it off.
Yeah. So
That's
anyway,
terrible.
that's another thing that's dying is private use of fireworks. Another thing that they say is polling places on Election Day.
We're seeing that. Hey, let me say something real quick.
Okay.
I know we're about to wrap up soon, but I do have to say this. There was a special election, going on with voting on December the 13th here in Huntsville, Ward 1. Okay, they had a runoff. Tor Fossum and my friend Rick Boning. They're having a runoff for that city council seat. Did you know only like 80 people turned out to vote, and that was like less than 2% of the ward? And so my challenge is do not complain about elected officials if you don't get out and vote.
Yes. Now, what these people are saying is polling places on Election Day, not necessarily people voting, but people now, because of COVID, they said that, people now vote early. Very few people actually go to the polling place. They mail in their ballots or they go. So the day of, do you vote on the day of or do you vote before?
Usually the day of. And I'm not I don't know. I'm conflicted on this. I'm not really a big fan of the early voting is cool, but I think you should just do it in one day like they used to. Why do you got to lead up to it?
We always do it on the day of because it's the polling. I live outside the city and our little area is pretty small, and it's a little community center down there where we vote at the end of the road, into Bays Chapel Road, and there's we don't ever have any lines or anything like that, and I like to see the people. That's honestly why we do it, is because I like to go by and see the people that are in there.
Sure.
Hey, how you doing? And they're always asking about the kids and the family, and it's the only time I usually get to see a certain select group of people. They're the officials running it, and it's a good time.
Yeah,
but that
tradition.
And it's dying. It's dying. A couple other things I want to get to. Thank you cards, as mentioned here. Weddings, at least large weddings, they say are dying. A couple more, and there's one I want to add that I think that they missed. College homecoming celebrations, very similar to the idea of class reunions.
Homecoming, by the way, started in Georgetown. Did you know that?
Really?
Started at Southwestern. The actual homecoming, it has been traced back to Southwestern University in Georgetown, Texas. That is where the very first homecoming ever took place, and it was for parents to come into town to bring the home back to the students, and they would cook for them and all that, and look at what it's became. But it truly started, if you research it, at Southwestern University, Georgetown, Texas, the oldest university in the state of Texas, too, by the way. It used to be called Texas University.
And the tradition is dying of homecomings.
Yes. Had to throw all that in there.
Thank you. Bake sales, dying.
Yeah. But although in church, not dying. I think they're always going to be a thing in a church.
Yeah, but so many people are fearful of what things that other people cook. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? I call that immunity building. You just eat away. I'm telling you what, you cough, you sneeze, you cough all over that food, sneeze all over, it makes us stronger, not sicker.
There you go. That's Rob's take on the day.
I don't know if Josh agrees with that. He's smiling. He may agree. Yeah, and he's right. I'm sick all the time. There you go. See? But
it's all these bake sales that Rob's participating in. All right. And that was all that this list had, but I have one more.
Yes, sir.
Being in the ministry, one thing that I've known that a tradition that is is currently dying, and maybe you can vouch for this as well, is the traditional funeral service. The traditional funeral service, and you should ask Greg about this, or Billy tomorrow on the show. But fewer and fewer people are electing for a traditional funeral service. Now there's a lot more cremations that are done, and they just have like a little memorial service. And then fewer and fewer people that go to church, their family member didn't participate in church or weren't very active in a community, that they just have a simple graveside service. Fewer and fewer people are having a traditional funeral service.
Yeah, I agree. You experience it, I experience it. And I think one other thing, in the next 25 years, because I have no desire, and this is terrible, but I have no desire to do this, taking my children to a baseball game. That used to be a huge family deal. Bridget and I took our kids. We were lucky this time because we were around pretty good people. But you and I have had this discussion on the show.
Yep.
That has become a rowdy haven for
Yeah, it's not a family
It's
affair
not family anymore. None of that
even
stuff.
all the sporting events. I mean, you go there and people are fighting now. There's more fights than ever at these games. At college, and like I said, I mean, I love A&M, but I think one of the greatest mistakes they ever did was allow alcohol in the stadium. I mean, because it becomes such a problem. People and I'm not against the idea of alcohol, but what happens is there's so many people that just can't. Moderation is not a thing.
Oh, no.
Moderation is not a thing.
Hey, I'll raise my hand. In my 20s and even early 30s, I was guilty of that. And it's dangerous.
Everything to excess.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the American way. Everything to excess. And, man, you go there. I mean, there's people sitting in front of us a couple of games ago. We were sitting there, and the guy comes back from the deal with like 6 beers stuffed in his jacket, and I'm thinking to myself, I mean,
You're like, here we go.
here we go. And it was a daytime game, and it was hot.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, you know how they're going to carry this guy out of here. They're going to carry him out of here because you're dehydrated anyway, just from standing out in the sun like that. And then, but anyway,
My favorite thing is, and it doesn't even have to be an alcohol. It could be anything. Like, well, man, let me, the biggest thing people do is buy each other a drink, right? Well, let me buy you a drink. All right, I'll get you next time. It doesn't do anything because you've spent the same amount of money. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, how about I buy your burger and then you buy it and then I'll get you next time.
Yeah.
You've still spent the same amount of money. You might as well not even buy each other anything.
it just seems nice, I guess, at the time.
Well, Jason,
the traditions that are dying. There you go.
There you go.
There's news you can use, and we've covered so much this morning, but there's some traditions that are dying in America.
there it is. News you can use with Jason Bay, becoming a global phenomenon. All right. Well, hey, we'll wrap it up, Jason. We won't take a break. We'll wrap it up here a little bit after 9 o'clock. Fun morning. Want to encourage you this morning. Tyler and I, a little bit later, are going to be going around and talking to some businesses here in town. We'd love for you to partner with us with the all-new Spirit Radio for underwriting. It's a great way to support the work that we feel the Lord has put on our heart to not only have a local mission but a global vision, and that is to proclaim the name of Christ. And we want Spirit Radio to be a place that you tune in. January the 1st is when we're going to flip the switch, and we have our friends coming next week to install the transmitter. Our sound equipment is in, and so we are inching ever closer. But this is all so important. I know we come on the show, we talk, we have a good time, but there's a seriousness in what we do too, and that seriousness is the most serious thing, and that's a relationship with Jesus Christ. And Jason, Christmas season is here. You started last week the Christmas series. Let us know what the people can expect this week.
So this week is a really, if you're not in the Christmas spirit yet, you'll need to come this Sunday, because this Sunday Alan is in charge, and they're going to do a Christmas extravaganza with special music, and they've been working really hard on this, and I know you'll be blessed by coming and experiencing that. It'll be at 10:45 regular time. this Sunday, and it's going to be a great day to be in the house of the Lord. I'm going to enjoy it myself, and it's a lot of special music. The kids are going to sing some songs, and it'll be a fun day to be in church. But I also want to say on the 21st, we'll have our regular services that morning, but at 6 o'clock that night, on the 21st, 6 o'clock that night, we're having a special quartet group, some professional singers. A friend of mine, his daughter goes to the University of Texas, and she's in the music department there. And I've known her since she was a child, and she has a beautiful voice, and she's met other students, and they have an a cappella group that they sing, and they're going to retell the Christmas story from Scripture and sing the songs as they go through. I've seen them do it before. It is a tremendous presentation. It'll be at 6 o'clock on the 21st. 6 o'clock on the 21st. You want to come to that. It's free. It's no charge. And it will bless your heart. I've experienced it, like I said before, and I said last year I saw him, and I told him, I was like, y'all have got to make room for us on your schedule for next year. So I've had them on the schedule for a year now.
Wow.
So I hope that the community will come out for that. That's not, it's not denominational. It's just a time to come and hear the Word of God and listen to some great singers, very accomplished singers, retell the story of the birth of Jesus Christ. 21st, 6 o'clock.
Amen. And mark your calendars for our Christmas Eve service.
Yeah,
So,
candlelight service, 6 o'clock on Christmas Eve. We always have a great turnout for that. It's a simple service. We read the Scripture, and it's always a great time. We always have a great crowd.
and some breaking news on this, Jason. Breaking news here, Jason. We will make this happen. We will have those candles will be ignited from a flame that originated in the grotto of Bethlehem.
Yeah,
so I'm working on making that happen.
This is amazing because you had her on
Carla Christian,
few months ago, and this was a passion of hers that this candle, this flame, originated in Bethlehem, and they keep this flame going and spread it all over like the light of Christ, all over, symbolize the light of Christ. So they bring this lit candle all the way from Bethlehem and keep it lit year-round. And the first candle will be lit from that candle, and then we'll spread it through the congregation as a symbol of sharing the gospel with everybody.
Yeah, it's going to be incredible.
Yeah, it'll be wonderful.
And thanks to our friends with the utility locator people, the 811 people, because when we were putting up our tower, we had to know where the gas line was. I found out the gas line runs right over here at the corner of 13th and J, right there at the corner where our sign is. And Jason, I'm going to throw it out there in the public, but I have an idea. I know where you're going
with this.
Idea.
I know where you're going with this.
That gas line is there.
We could use it.
It would be awesome to have a torch there, a gas lit, and we start that lantern, a gas lantern, and we light that gas with that flame so it'll burn year round.
That would be cool.
I don't think it'd cost too much.
No,
either,
it wouldn't if the line's right there.
Yeah, so we'll make that happen, Jason. I'm gonna work on that. So
thank you, Rob. Thank you.
Alrighty. Well, come be a part of the services here. We're so blessed, and Jason, you're so humble, but we are so blessed to have. I've learned so much under your leadership, Jason, and my faith has grown stronger by the power of God through you. And I want to encourage you: bring your family, your children, come and be a part of what the Lord is doing here at First Baptist Church. We have seen the Lord move in such a powerful way. And it's always our prayer. Jason talks about this, and we talk about this as a staff, that it's our prayer that every Jesus-believing, Bible-believing church here in this community is thriving. And, you have the privilege to go out and fill in for a small church outside of town as they're looking for a pastor right now. And I want to encourage all churches. That's the way that we need to be.
Absolutely.
We need to love on each other and work together.
Work together, body of Christ. One church, it's the Lord's church. And I just want to echo what you say. God has put together a great team of people here, and God is working through that team of people to bring about His glory here. And we're seeing the Holy Spirit move. Last Sunday, I was so refreshed just to be here. We had a young lady accept Jesus Christ for the first time. I'm going to get the chance to baptize her in a couple of weeks, and it's just, I love it. I told someone it's not something that happens all the time. We take it for granted often. But the Holy Spirit is moving in a major way here. We sense it. We feel it. We see the movement as people are responding to Christ. And this is a very unique time because we pray, Lord, send us revival. Lord, revive us again. And we're experiencing that. And we want each and every person out there to experience that too. It's not something we see all the time. It's something we pray for all the time. But we're seeing the movement of God in our church in a major way, and we invite you to come and experience it too.
Amen. Well, I'll end with this. Go by and give Odell Rochelle a big hug. I think the laptop died over there. I'll end with this. 7 days. Odell is shutting down his coveted barbershop that he has had for so many years. He has been a light to this community. Go by and tell Brother Odell how much you love him and appreciate him. He has literally raised some generations here in Huntsville, cutting hair and then cutting their kids' hair, and we are going to miss him. But he is just at it for 7 more days. A week from today, he will be closing his doors for good. And he was just ready. Nothing bad. He was just ready to hang it up and retire and move on.
And what are you going to do with your hair now? Because I know you were a frequent flyer there.
Oh, big frequent flyer. So I'm going to have to find a place. You've got a place that I may go check out.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I need to find a new place. And Odell, I'm going to miss you, brother. We love you and thank you for your commitment for so many years and promoting the good. And those stories, there's a tradition right there that's dying out. Barbershops where they tell you stories. Odell was the guy that still told you the Boudreaux and Thibodeau jokes. He still he told you all the fun stuff. He told you the serious stuff. There was the day that my dad passed. You know, a couple days after I had prayed, and I wanted to end with this, but in my mind I was doubting things. My heart I knew what I believed, but the enemy attacks us through our mind, Jason. And I remember saying, well, how did this happen when I prayed for my dad for so many years? And I remember distinctively that morning praying, Lord, bring me some sort of peace, a sign, not being weird, but I just said a sign through somebody or something today that reaffirms my faith in you, Lord, because I'm struggling right now. And there's nothing wrong with praying for that. The Lord will answer that. And I didn't tell Odell anything about what I was going through, and he told me a miraculous story. And you know what he told me at the end of that story? He said, so if you're doubting God today, son, I want you to know that he's real.
Amen.
And I got goosebumps. I said, Odell, let me tell you a story about how
I
just prayed for that.
Yeah,
so.
Hallelujah. That's the way the Lord works. But talking about traditions that are dying in America, you're right. The old-fashioned barbershop is a tradition that's dying. The $20 haircut is a tradition that's dying.
Yeah, that thing is dead.
Yeah, now you go just a man's haircut nowadays costs you $40.
Yeah, yikes. Well, we'll be back at it tomorrow. Billy Cawthon, Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, as we close out this great week. And we thank you for hanging out with us today. All of you, we didn't get a chance to say hi to you, but many of you are chiming in. And we so appreciate you for staying engaged and helping us to promote the good here in Huntsville. For Joshua Mashi and Pastor Jason Bay, I'm Rob Hipp, reminding you this morning that we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We're really not. We need each other. So please provide a word of encouragement, lend a hand of support. I promise somebody out there this morning absolutely needs you. We'll see you tomorrow, 7:30. Until then, good morning, Huntsville, and God bless. Have a blessed day. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.